I bid a very good morning to all my students. Okay, although they are just Jennifer Ezra. So today we will learn a new chapter for tourism geography. Okay, that is the physical geography of tourism, resource and barrier. Okay, so when you go to a destination, okay, the first thing first that you always see is what is the attraction at the place. Okay, some of the place have their own physical attraction. Okay, for example, if you go to Kuching, okay, there are some beautiful natural place in Kuching. For example, Damai Beach, Bako, and also Gunung Satubong. Okay, that is known as the physical geography. So today we will learn, okay, how this physical geography that is mountainous area, hill area, sea, lake attract people to come to them, and also the barrier for them to come to a place, to the tourism destination. Barrier mean obstacle, halangan. Okay, so we have three learning outcome for today classes. Okay, so first and foremost, the learning outcome one is resource barrier and the tourism resource audit. Okay, the number two is the physical system, physical geography, and also tourism. And last but not least is impact of global environment change on tourism. Okay, so the term is a little bit advanced. However, I will simplify for you so that it will become more easier and easier. Okay, so I will go one by one, so do not worry. So our first subtopic is resource barrier and the tourism resource audit. Okay, so what is this kind of thing? Okay, what is related to this kind of topic? Okay, we as a tourist, okay, we always evaluate the physical geography of potential destination. Okay, so for example, you Jennifer, you like hiking, you like to go to mountainous area, tempat yang bergunung ganang. Okay, so you will search for a destination that have a very beautiful hiking place. Okay, you will not go to the central of London to go to hiking because the city of the London is full of towns. Semua adalah bandar. Okay, so you as a tourist, you will find what is the thing that you want, the physical geography that you want. If you like beach, then you go for a destination that full of beautiful beaches. Okay, if you like a place that have a beautiful mountainous area, then you will go and evaluate where is destination that have a very beautiful mountainous area. So you will see, oh, Terengganu have a very beautiful gunung. Okay, Selangor do not have really have a mountainous area that beautiful. So you will evaluate one by one. Okay, so we simply need to know to determine if the place have physical setting that we are looking for. Okay, if the physical condition, okay, have and satisfy what we need, you will participate in the activity. Okay, for example, just like I said before, if you go to the central New York, okay, and you do not really have the place that want to go hiking, then you will not go to hiking because there are no physical condition that help you to go for hiking. Okay, or it is condition that might keep us from doing that kind of thing. Okay, so that kind of thing is known as physical barrier. So after this, we will learn what is physical barrier. So there are three terms that you have to know under the tourism resource audit. Okay, we will learn the first term that is resources. Okay, number two is tourism resources, and last but not least is physical tourism resources. These three term is must know term for a tourism geography student. Okay, so first and foremost is resources. Okay, so what is resources? Sumber. So in Malay, we call it sumber. Okay, so resource refer to type of product that is perceived to have value and may use to satisfy human needs and or want. Okay, so everything that have value and also everything that can satisfy your need is known as resources. So when we talk about financial resources, we talk about money because we are perceive money as something that have value. So RM1, RM2, RM3. And also with money, it can satisfy our human need and want. We want to eat because we need to eat and we want to eat. Okay, we use money to buy food. Okay, that is known as resource. Okay, so when we want, what is the example? The other example of resource is environmental resource. Okay, because environmental resource also have value. And also when you want to go for peace, you want something keamanan, you go to environment. So that is known as satisfy human need or want. So that is resources. So what is mean by tourism resources? Okay, tourism resources as stated in the slide. Okay, tourism resources are those components of a destination's environment, physical or human. It is handmade or human-made or physical or natural thing that have potential to facilitate tourism and provide the basis for tourism attraction. So you have to know that whether the attraction, okay, have the value or not. Okay, for example, is mountainous area have value? Okay, and if is mountainous area help the place to be a tourism place? Okay, for example, in this Sarawak, in this Kuching area, there are so many mountainous area, tempat yang bergunung ganang, but not all tempat yang bergunung ganang can attract tourists. The only gunung ganang that can attract tourists in Kuching is Mount Kinabalu and Mount Satubong. Okay, so we have to know that which of the place is tourism resources, which of the place is not tourism resources. Maybe all the place is tourism resources, but not all being developed as tourism resources. You can also say that Kapit, okay, is a tourism resources, okay, but it's not being developed. That's why people do not really go to Kapit. Okay, so last but not least is physical tourism resources. Okay, so physical tourism resources are considered to be an invaluable tourism asset and fundamental to development of tourism for virtual all destination. So the moment there are one word in this definition that is invaluable. Okay, invaluable mean we cannot put a price. Sangat-sangat berharga. Sangat berharga. Invaluable means sangat-sangat berharga. We cannot put a price. For example, can you put a price on Gunung Kinabalu? No, right? Can you put a price on Bako? No, right? Because it is tourism asset. Okay, when we talk about tourism asset, it is very, very valuable until no one can put a value on that place. Okay, and that physical tourism resources is very, very important. Why? Because it helps a place to develop. For example, in Kuching, without tourism, without Bako National Park, without Gunung Santubong, okay, the tourism in Kuching will not as developed as today. So you have to know what is mean by resource, tourism resource, and also physical tourism resource. Okay. So next we will go to the tourism barrier. Okay, so this tourism barrier is known as halangan pelancong, halangan pelancongan, something like that. Halangan untuk pelancongan. Okay, so first we will talk about resource barrier. Okay, so I see a new participant or Dayang. Okay, so a resource barrier. So a barrier refer to something material in the environment that become a physical obstacle or something that create logistical and perceptual problem. Okay, barrier just like I said before is halangan. Okay, so in environment have their own barrier also. Okay, why people cannot why this mountain cannot be known as tourism area? Because there are halangan. Maybe there are no transport that go to that place. That is one halangan. That is known as logistical barrier. Okay. Second is perceptual barrier. Maybe that mountainous area is very dangerous. That is known as perceptual problem. After this, I will go deeper in what is logistical barrier and also what is perceptual barrier. Okay. So what things can be considered as barrier? Okay, there are so many tourism barrier. What can be considered as barrier? Cultural norm can be known as barrier. Cultural norm is kebudayaan. It's not kebudayaan. It's something like norma kebudayaan or cara hidup. Yes, cara hidup. Okay, political policy, economic circumstances, or technological advancement. Okay, for example, cultural norm. Okay, we are, for example, we are talking about Mecca or Madinah. Okay, Mecca or Madinah is some place that non-Muslim cannot go. That is known as cultural norm. Okay, so a place that is known as political policy that become a barrier is not North Korea. Okay, North Korea we cannot go. Okay, we can go to North Korea, but there are so many obstacle that we have to go through. So that is political policy. So economic circumstances is very easy. You cannot go to that place because you do not have money. So or you do not have enough money. Okay. Or technology advancement. Okay. We cannot go to Kapit because Kapit do not have jalan udara or airport. That is known as technological advancement. All that kind of thing is known as tourism barrier. Okay, so element in the earth, ocean, atmosphere system also can be a physical barrier. So after this, I will talk to you what is known as physical barrier, what is known as perceptual barrier. Okay, so there are two famous barrier in tourism that is known as physical barrier and perceptual barrier. Okay, so physical barrier are known as extreme weather events such as hurricane, blizzard, and present as barrier to tourism. Okay, so all the hurricane, all the blizzard, all the natural disaster is known as physical barrier. Ocean also can are known as physical barrier. Okay, all the natural things that are related to barrier is known as physical barrier. Okay, you cannot go to Indonesia by walking because there are ocean that are dividing Indonesia with us. Okay, there are jungle that are dividing us from Indonesia, so that is known as physical barrier. All the things that are natural, okay, and also not related to human is known as physical barrier. So perceptual barrier is something that are on our mind, okay, on about our perception. Okay, for example, you are afraid to go to North Korea because you're afraid that being ditembak mati, something like that. You are afraid to go to China right now because of COVID. That is known as perceptual barrier. You are afraid to go to US right now, okay, because US had Malaysian example. Okay, that is known as perceptual barrier. You are avoiding the place because of potential hazard. There are no dangerous, but there are potential to be dangerous to the tourist. Okay, that is known as perceptual barrier. So if physical barrier is something that exists, okay, physical barrier is something that exists in front of us. Perceptual barrier is something that are playing in our mind. Okay, because we are afraid that thing will be happen to us. Okay, that is the moment that is known as perceptual barrier. So number two is we will talk about a new subtopic that is the physical system, physical geography, and also tourism. Okay, so there are three important terms that you have to know in this subtopic. First is system itself. Okay, number two is meteorology, and also last but not least is climatology. Climatology. Okay, so system is very easy. System is something that are linked. Okay, for example, in a system, okay, there are a set of things that are related to each other. If we are talk about human system in an office, there are consists of boss, there are officer, there are executive, there are lecturer. That is known as a system. A system must be linked and related to each other. Okay, they are linked by flow of energy and matter are distinct from which are outside the system. So when we are talk about inside a system, must be related to each other. So when we are talk about tourism system, okay, there are consists of maybe tourist itself, okay, tourism operator, transportation, accommodation, all of that kind of thing is known as a tourism system. It must be related and linked with each other. Okay, that is known as a system. Okay, so what is meteorology? So you always see this term that is meteorology every day in a news dalam berita. Okay, meteorology is about weather. Okay, so you always say that hari ini kita akan bersama dengan kajian meteorologi cuaca pada hari ini. That is meteorology. Meteorology is about study of weather, which refer to atmospheric condition for a given place or time. So maybe today what is the weather? Maybe today what is the temperature? Okay, maybe today what is the cloud cover? What is wind speed? Okay, what is water precipitation? So water precipitation is the higher water precipitation, the higher probability to have rain. Okay, that is known as meteorology, a knowledge about weather. Okay, so how about climatology? So climate. So climatology, the root word is climate. So it's about a climate. Climate is which refer to aggregate of weather condition for a given place over time. So when we talk about climate, okay, it's about a long term. Okay, for if we talk about Malaysian climate, it's always sunny and rainy all over the year. Okay, when we talk about climate in London, maybe climate in London is 4 seasons. Okay, climate in China is also 4 seasons, but also some disaster. So climatology is also related about the disaster. So you also have learned this climate on the on the causes of climate change. So I will not go further on climatology. So we will talk about weather and climate. Okay, weather and climate is a very important element in a tourism destination. Okay, because weather and climate are the one who allowed or not tourism to be developed in a place. For example, if a climate of the place, if the weather of the place is always rainy, okay, tourists will not come to that place because if the place is keep raining, the flood will always happen, banjir. Okay, when always banjir happen, okay, the tourism development cannot be done. That is why weather and climate play an important role in tourism development. Okay, this element also determine the time and length of tourism season. Okay, for example, if you want to go a place, Korea, for example, you will go for a season that is winter. So when we are talk about winter, we are talk about climate. Okay, some of the place have their own climate as attraction. For example, if you want to go to Switzerland, Switzerland and New Zealand is very, and also Canada is also very famous with their mountainous resort. Okay, so if there are snowy season that are long snowy season, then people will go to that place for a longer time. So if there are shorter time of winter, the people that want to go to that place also short. Okay, so the product that can be developed, the location of activity and infrastructure and more, all about weather and climate. So mostly in Malaysia, we go for something that are not really related to snowy because we do not have snowy climate or snowy weather. So all the bangunan, all the building in Malaysia is not really related to snow because we do not have snow. So all the infrastructure also not related to snow or winter or we have summer all day. Okay, so third idea is climate is the feature of a destination that least able to manipulate the provide the desired condition for tourism. Just that I said before, in Canada, in Switzerland, climate become the feature of a destination, become an attraction for a destination. For example, in Terengganu, okay, the climate, the monsoon area, the monsoon season become the attraction people to go to Terengganu because the beach is very nice on the monsoon area. Okay, it's very well, although it's very dangerous. Okay, people who love to surfing, luncur air, okay, will come to Terengganu on the monsoon season. Monsoon season is very dangerous. Okay, when you go to Terengganu, but some of the people love that kind of climate and weather. So last but not least is element of weather and climate can be resource that does not generate tourism, but provide the condition that allow for tourism activity to take place. Okay. So this is the last for this subtopic. That is, we talk about this knowledge, that is geomorphology and also biogeography. Okay, these two knowledge is really related to climatology and also meteorology. Okay, so what is geomorphology? So every time you see logy behind a word, that means a study, a knowledge. Okay, when we talk about morphology is actually about a landform, geomorphology, about a landform. So if you want to see in Kuching, okay, the landform actually a mountainous area. Okay, if you ever see in Cebu, okay, the geomorphology is low area. That's why in Cebu they are so easy to get flood. Okay, so which refer to the shape of Earth's surface. When we talk about geomorphology, is about shape of Earth's surface of a destination. Okay, so for example, some of the place have mountainous areas, some of the place have a hill area, some of the place is about valley. So valley is lembah. Okay, when we talk about lembah, okay, there are so many curam. Okay, or we talk about plain. Plain is just plain, mendata, lurus area. That is known as plain. So stakeholder need this kind of information, okay, to provide a safe and suitable environment for tourism activity. Okay, because they should know this term, this knowledge, that is geomorphology, because some of destination is not really suitable to be done in mountainous area. For example, Taman Tema. Okay, for example, Sunway Lagoon. You cannot do a Sunway Lagoon on the top of the mountain. Okay, because it's not safe. So you have to know this knowledge that is geomorphology. So how about biogeography? Okay, biogeography is a combination of two words, biology and geography. Okay, when we talk about biology and geography, we talk about living things on a destination. Okay, some of the people will come to a destination because of their flora and fauna, because of the biology of that people, because of the biology of that place, or known as biodiversity of that place. For example, people come to Africa to see this pangolin. This is known as pangolin, or in Malay, we call it as tenggiling. Okay, because tenggiling, this kind of species of tenggiling is quite extinct right now. Okay, because people like this pangolin. Okay, people come to Sarawak because they want to see burung kenyalang. So that is known as biogeography. Okay, and attraction because a place, a biology of a place. So that is you have to know about biogeography. So last but not least, this is the last topic for today. Okay, impact of global environment change on tourism. Okay, because of global environment, for example, right now is climate change. Okay, the rise of temperature of the sea. Okay, the disaster keep happen. Okay, coronavirus, its impact on tourism. It gives a lot of impact on tourism. So what is the impact? Okay, so first and foremost, we will talk about coral bleaching effect of scuba diving tourists. Okay, so if you ever go to sea, okay, you will never feel that the sea should be hot. Okay, a hot sea is not a good condition for the fish, okay, aquatic animals, and also aquatic plant. For example, is coral. Coral is known as aquatic plant. Okay, so the warming of sea, especially because of El Nino. El Nino is known as kemarau or in the rise of temperature. El Nino is other name for kemarau. Okay, El Nino. So El Nino is kemarau. If the place have a lot of rain, people will call it sebagai La Nina. La Nina. This is Spain term. Okay. El Nino is kemarau. La Nina is banjir. El Nino and La Nina. Okay. El Nino phenomena result in which known as coral bleaching. Okay. Coral bleaching is the moment coral become white. When it's become white, it's become dead. Okay. So if you see other kind of plant, okay, if it become dead, mati, it become brown in color. But coral, karang, okay, karang, this is known as karang, okay, batu karang. Coral, if it is dead, it's become white, okay. If coral is dead, it's become white, okay. Coral bleaching result to the death of about 49 of live coral, and over high amount of dissolved CO2 mean the coral, mollusk, and shell are destroyed in the process, okay. Because there are no oxygen being done by the coral, then the CO2, that is carbon dioxide, will increase in the sea. When there are CO2 is increased in the sea, it will not good for the sea. Okay, the example of country that become affected because of this kind of thing is Philippines and also Maldives. Okay, because of the coral bleaching. Okay, second is reduction of snow cover. Okay, snow is when we talk about reduction of snow cover, what is the thing that impact this kind of thing? The rise in temperature. When the rise of temperature, the snow easily melt. When snow is easily melt, it become thinner. When it become thinner, it's very dangerous for all snow activity, snow recreation activity, because you cannot slide on this stone. Okay, you cannot do skiing on this stone. Okay, the general trend on weather condition is the warming, which means summer month become longer and winter month become shorter. Okay, when this kind of thing happen, okay, the snow is not enough for a traditional ski resort to be operated, and all the ski recreation cannot be done. Okay, for example of the country is Canada. Okay, so I will always, every semester I will always give this kind of question, so please be conscious about this kind of thing. Okay, so we talk again about the rise in the temperature. When we talk about the rise in temperature, we feel very uncomfortable to be on the outside area or travel. Okay, those are located in the warmer climate. For example, Malaysia, California. California is famous with its beach, so it have a warmer climate. Okay, it is problem when the temperature rise on an uncomfortable level. When the temperature is rise on the uncomfortable level, it causes heat wave. Heat wave. When heat wave happen, okay, when it happen, human can feel very uncomfortable. Okay, it can lead for heat stress and maybe cause fatality due to stroke. Stroke can happen because it's too hot. When it is too hot, people will do not really want to travel. Okay, when people do not want to travel, how tourism destination will become alive. Tourism destination will become dead because of this high temperature. Okay, last but not least is spread of disease. Okay, spread, all of this is related to high temperature. Okay, when there are high temperature, there are one mosquito that love high temperature. That is malaria. Okay, malaria will happen, and malaria will easily to breed or betelor, okay, egg, have their own egg when they are have a warmer climate. Okay, when malaria is being produced, okay, there are more malaria mosquito. Okay, the malaria disease is really easy to spread. This kind of thing is happen on Africa and also Southeast Asia. Okay, in the Thailand area and the Laos area, Myanmar area have a very high spread of malaria disease. Before this, Malaysia also have a malaria disease, but it being controlled right now. Example of the country is Spain. Okay, also a place where have malaria because of the high temperature. Okay, so that's all for tourism geography. Thank you so much. So if you have any question, so you may ask right now. So Dayang and Jennifer Ezra, do you have any question? Okay, so we will talk a little bit about our assignment today. So I have posted this assignment on your LMS. So if you want this assignment, then you can go to LMS, or maybe after this, I will put the assignment in your WhatsApp group. Okay, so for tourism geography, there are two assignments. Okay, both of the assignment, all your assignment is individual assignment because there are only 3 people. So I don't want to do a group assignment for you. Okay, so the first assignment is movie review. Okay, movie review. Movie review is the moment you have to watch a movie and do a review based on the thing that you have watched. Okay, for example, a movie review task is a great training tool for enhancing critical thinking skill. Okay, a report on movie review aimed at presenting a film from a most important scene, special effect to exciting moment, and maybe accompanied by criticism. Therefore, please choose any one of the movie below and prepare a movie review on it.